Good morning. I'm J.J. Lee, and I serve as your worship associate this morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada, where it is our mission to grow together in love, faith, justice, and joy. We here at UUFNN believe that by being and working together, we can bring about justice and build a compassionate community. We welcome all to be a part of us, regardless of racial identity, ethnic background, age, economic circumstances, educational achievement, judicial history, immigration status, mental health status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. UUFNN is about compassion and support, not judgment. We at UUFNN love having new people join us for worship, and if that's you, feel free to contact the office or go to our website for more information. You can also click on the link in the chat box to fill out the newcomer form and sign up for our newsletter that will keep you informed of all the activities here at UUFNN. For those meeting with us on Zoom, please update your name on screen. That helps everyone know who you are. And feel free to use the chat box for comments, especially during prayer and meditation. Folks on Zoom are invited at the end of our service into small groups for coffee hour, where we break into small groups to visit virtually face-to-face. Wherever you are worshiping from today, thank you for being with us this morning. As our call to worship today, you may feel free to join me if these words are recognizable to you. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me.
I have to adjust the microphone. JJ and I are a little different in height. Good morning. For our chalice reading and chalice lighting this morning, we're going to revisit our covenant that we passed together last month at our annual meeting. It's something that I want to have in the forefront of our brains at all times because it's what we agree to and what we promise to each other and to ourselves. So on the screen, I will read each line, and you can respond with, put up there, Philip. We create this beloved community together. So that's your line, call and response. So, we aspire to build a democratic community that is based on trust, transparency, and open communication. We aspire to be present in the moment and listen to each other with honesty and compassion. We aspire to be good examples to our children in their lifelong journey of discovery and meaning. We create this beloved community together. We aspire to respect individual lifestyles in an accepting atmosphere of love. We create this beloved community together. We aspire to stand against racism and nurture a culture at UUFNN that is welcoming and safe for everyone. We create this beloved community together. We aspire to be mindful of our own biases and show consideration for others in our words and our actions. We create this beloved community together. We aspire to affirm and practice the UU principles in our daily lives. We aspire to stay informed about our fellowship and be reliable stewards to ensure that we continue to grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. You guys sound pretty good for a small group this morning in the summer. We aspire to honor all expressions of spirituality, beloved community together. And we aspire to create and nourish a balance between spirituality and social justice. We, this beloved community together. Thank you. Harry DeBarger is going to light our chalice for us this morning.
I asked God if it was okay to be melodramatic, and she said yes. I asked her if it was okay to be short, and she said it sure is. I asked her if I could wear nail polish or not wear nail polish, and she said, honey, she calls me that sometimes. She said, you can do just exactly what you want to. Thanks, God, I said. And is it even okay if I don't paragraph my letters? Sweet cakes, God said. Who knows where she picked that up? What I am telling you is yes, yes, yes.
This is the time in our service where we say yes to the opportunity to share our bounty with each other. It is through your generosity and dedication that we here at UUFNN are self-sufficient. By each of us stepping forward and offering what we can, we provide a support for all that we do for each other and the wider community. Please share what bounty you can today by texting I thought so. 73256. Just wanted to make sure because I have it written wrong in two places. That's 73256. Type UUFNN in the message box and hit send. You can also mail a check to the office at 780 Del Monte Lane, Reno 89511. Or if you want to simplify the process, you can sign up for automatic giving. Contact Carol at the office for the authorization form. The Share the Plate recipient for June is Wild West Access Fund. The Wild West Access Fund of Nevada creates a permanent resource for Nevadans in need of abortion care. WWAF was formed because the co-founders believed that everyone should have the final say in their reproductive decisions and that power resides in our communities. Those who work with this organization believe that there should be no stigma in the choice to terminate a pregnancy. The organization is a volunteer group and relies entirely on donations from community members. They aspire to cover as much of each caller's procedure as possible, and all donations go directly to the clients. Beyond financial assistance, the organization offers other forms of practical support and can connect callers to resources following their abortion appointment. This is a critical time in our nation, and support of this sort is desperately needed. WWAF has funded over 300 people since their founding. It is anticipated that there will be an increase in people seeking support traveling to Nevada in light of the Supreme Court decision. Thank you for your generosity. Now, let the offering begin. Please join me as we bless these offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings.
Good morning. I'm Adrienne Fisher, your board president, and after a mere 10 days on the job, I have been promoted to minister. Just temporarily. As we all know, Reverend Karen is off this month, so I'm stepping in just for today. So thanks for having me and thanks for being here. And hello to Zoom land. Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about why church. As people, we're constantly evolving. me included. If you had asked me last month if I would be standing up here giving a reflection and a sermon, I would have said, no, I will not be, but I have evolved and I have taken on this role and here I am. So we're constantly evolving, and so is our church. We've seen that. We've seen it most recently during COVID. Boy, have we evolved. We've got a tech team. We have people on Zoom who join us from all around the country and sometimes even around the world. And we're not done. We're not done evolving. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, why church and how we're evolving. Reverend Karen has been planting little seeds with us for some time now, telling us that coming out of the pandemic is our opportunity to grow. It's our opportunity to reinvent. It's our opportunity to evolve. So today is a maybe tiny, but a step in finding out how collectively we want to start that evolution. I had the opportunity last month to attend my first General Assembly in Portland, Oregon. Wow, what an experience. An enormous convention hall filled with my people, and I did not know a single one of them. And really connecting to the broader community, something wider and bigger than this safe place of UU, FNN, was a great opportunity for me to start to evolve. Hence why I'm here with you today. On the last Sunday of GA, as we call it, and for those of you who maybe aren't familiar, that is the national convention for us as Unitarian Universalists. And on the last Sunday, they have many worship speakers. And some of you, I think, got to hear Reverend Sean Neil Barron. He was one of the people who spoke on the last Sunday. He did a sermon called, Why Church? Because Church. We're going to listen to him in just a few minutes. He's about 10 minutes long. And when we're watching, you might have had a different lens if you were available to see him the first time. The lens I'd like for you to look through today is listening for, in your own heart, why did you start coming to church? And why do you continue coming to church? And what is it that you need and want for us to grow and do as we evolve? So there are 3 questions that you can be thinking about as you listen to Reverend Sean speak this morning. After we're done, we have a little task together. Zoom, we'll do it on Zoom in breakout rooms, and we'll do it together in small groups to talk about those 3 questions so that we have some foundation for how we'd like to move forward together and evolve. So, Philip, are we ready to watch Reverend Sean Neil Barron do Why Church? All right, enjoy, and then I'll be back up here and we'll do our next part together.
My friends used to ask me, why do you go to church? After I became a minister, they stopped asking. But the thing is, I never did. Why do I go to church? Church is the place that has broken my heart more times than any other. The beauty of its potential obscured by the labor of reality that churches are human, not utopian endeavors. Every church I have ever been a part of has never been exactly who they proclaim to be, never been exactly who I wanted them to be, never been exactly who I needed them to be. Why do I go to church? I have witnessed professionals violating the trust granted to them, cloaking their deceit in the garb of spiritual language, congregational bullies allowed to rampage in the name of nice or freedom of belief, causing beloved people to step away, the pain too great to continue. I have witnessed trauma like a puppeteer, pulling the strings, compelling us to play out old stories again and again and again and again. Why do I go to church? Why do we keep going? The longer you stay in, the more grief you accumulate. The grief of the people who left the faith, left your church to attend another or not, or simply left life. And even as the joy of new people arriving rises, you look around sometimes and realize that you don't recognize anyone anymore, and you wonder if that must mean it's time for you to leave. Why, church? For it will be true that the church you join will not be the same church you leave, changed by your presence, changed by the presence of every other. That's the beauty, that's the magic, but it's also the heartbreak. There is so much that changes in the life of a church. The musical stylings of generations come and go. The language and words of reverence shift. We decenter what was once assumed to be our essence to reveal the liberatory power within. We constantly evolve and revolve around our core, that determination of love to break forth. That question, why church, does not have one answer, not one that can endure a lifetime, not one answer the same for each of us, or answers like stars forming new constellations, guiding us in every season of life, pointing us towards a simple impulse. Why church? Well, simply because church. I call it the casserole reflex. That when the church hears the news of the diagnosis or the accident or looming crisis of death, divorce, or disaster, somehow, even before they realize it, the casserole dish is in the oven, an instinct to care just baked in. The same reflex taught me that when certain events happen, you don't call, you don't text, you go. Awkwardly, sure. Uncomfortably, of course, but you show up. Why? Because church. Amen. It's the feeling we get gathered for imperfect worship, a collection of friends, strangers, united by an almost indescribable promise that answers a question coded deep within us, the need to belong, to be reminded of that belongingness, the full embrace that conveys the truth that all the parts of you, the questioning parts, the doubting parts, the cynical parts, the hurt parts, are not only welcome, but they are necessary here, that if universal salvation is true for all of us, it must be true for all parts of us too. Amen? Why? Because church. It's a temporal embrace. An embrace with one arm ancestral and the other futuristic, converging together, a complex embrace, holding as much pain as potential, a belonging that grounds us and orients us into time itself, a belonging that says that you, yes, you, are part of an unfolding story, the end of which has not been written, and here we will face it not alone or unequipped, unprepared or unprotected, for we have stories and practices, rituals and music and ancestors and baggage. And you don't need to strike out on your own. You don't need to make it up all by yourself and look around. You don't have to do it alone either, for you have a people. Why? Because church. For a society that tells me that I need to be self-made, I need church that tells me I exist because we are. For if the choice were independence or interdependence, there is no question that I would choose that gnarlier path if we can go together. And it is church more often than any other place that never lets me forget it. Why? Because church, it's the beauty, you know it, of a child dedicated in the arms of its family. It's the 85-year-olds who, when the pandemic hit, became Zoom experts overnight and then taught others. Casting off the confines of a physical sanctuary for a digital cathedral, knowing that church was never a place but a people. Why? Because church. And when my heartbreak becomes too much, caught in that cavernous gap between promise and reality, I testify that every time I muster the courage to keep showing up, I surprise myself that I can find love in broken people and hopeless places. And I find that even my own brokenness doesn't disqualify me when I'm willing to put in the work. And even as certain people grate on me, like sandpaper, I feel them wearing down my rough places, granting me much-needed lessons in patience and compassion, forgiveness and humanity, giving me the chance to practice being human. Why? Because church. For our churches are like base camps, teams fanning out, forming rapid response networks of prayer and safe passage for all who seek safety, for all who seek self-determination and shelter. We feed each other and are fed. We dismantle the prisons of supremacy living within and around us, all the while growing us awkwardly and lovingly as we navigate the challenges of a mission that calls us to the brink of all that we love and know and commands us to step out in faith, to commit to be changed, to covenant, to promise to a journey without knowing what intimacy, what vulnerability will be asked of us as we embark. For if we knew friends, we wouldn't say yes, but when we look back, we can't help but thank God we did. Why? Because church. I have witnessed friendships formed in social halls, sparked in classes that have saved lives. Zoom chats brimming with prayer, heartfelt messages launched not into a void, but as offerings into the heart center of a community that breathes, that conspires, both IRL and within and beyond those ones and zeros that constitute our now other gathering place. All of it revealing shards of holiness, reflecting belovedness imperfectly but truly, whispering, you are not alone. You belong beyond your choosing. The story is not over, and we each have a part to play. And though you may not believe it, or feel it moving within you, or trust it enough to let your guard down, what church can do is make love tangible, not simply theoretical, joined together in one body in church. Amen.
Oh, wow, Reverend Sean Neil Barron. He's amazing. I love how he says that we're not a place, but we're a people. We're not alone, we belong. We're grappling with changes together because change is never easy. And that we're part of an unfolding story with no ending. And we make love tangible. So today, here's our task, an easy one. We're going to do 3 things. So you're going to think for a moment about why church for you. Why church? Maybe it's the casserole reflex that he talked about. You show up, you know that other people will show up for you. Maybe It's the things we've promised to each other in our covenant and bringing those alive every day. Maybe it's the freedom to call God she or they or nothing at all. There's not one answer, and our goal is to hear from each other. As we revolve and evolve around our core, and we are the core, we need to keep what is most important, and we need to figure out what we want to do as we head out of pandemic. I don't know. As we stay in our new normal pandemic status. So that's the first thing. Think in your brain, why church? What's your why church? After you've had a little second to think, we're just going to cluster up. On Zoom, you'll be in a breakout room. In here, I don't know, is it possible? I'm hopeful we can get in small groups of, say, 4 to 5 people, staying socially distanced, but still being intimate? Yeah, sure. We'll try that. I want everyone to feel safe, though, so obviously we'll have our masks on. Come as close to other people as you feel you can. There are 3 questions that will be on the screen that you can think about as you talk to the other people in your small group. So, what brought you to church to begin with? Why do you keep coming to church? And what do you need as we continue to move forward? Those could be very tangible things. I need this, I would like this, or they could be more ethereal things. There's no right answer. And I would love some record of this. There are some board members and COSM people in our service today who can help just maybe take some notes or some thoughts. You don't need your name on that. After we do our small group for about 10 minutes, if anyone has something they would like to share, either on Zoom or here in our great room, you can come up to the mic if you have something to say for the greater good that you really want everyone to hear. We'll save a little bit of time for that because we'd love to hear from you. Have I forgotten anything? Okay, the questions will be in the chat for those of you on Zoom so that you don't have to remember them. I'm going to set my timer for 10-ish minutes. Do you feel comfortable just sort of grouping up? Don't leave anybody out who doesn't want to be left out. I'll set the timer. We'll come back together after 10 minutes and we'll see if anybody has any thoughts, and then we'll wrap up our service for today. Because I'm a teacher, my next thing I want to say is, are there any questions? It almost came out of my mouth, just very naturally. Welcome back. It's so nice to get a chance to talk to each other. We don't get to do that often enough. So, in schools, when we ask people to share whole group, we often say you don't have to share what you said unless you want to, but you might want to share what someone else in your group said that you found extremely brilliant and that you want to copy. JJ and I had a lovely conversation about our 3 questions. So I want to give you a second to think. Is there anyone in the great room who would like to come up to the microphone? Good morning. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Will you share with us? Maya. Nice, Maya. Microphone. Maya has something to share for the good of the group.
Hi, I was talking with this man in the back, and he was saying that he wants people to come together. He wants people to get out there right now and start getting people to come into this room. It's fabulous. And if we all take whatever we've got right now, we can do it. Do it.
Yay. I think we need more of us. We need to clone ourselves. But we need to share how wonderful we are with the people who we know and love in the world and let them know that they're welcome here too. Anyone else want to microphone in the great room? Billy Lee?
I just want to share that we wish we'd had more time to talk on the third point, because we really, my group was really fired up at the opportunity to think about together going forward and what we want to do and what we want to look like. And I got the sense that everybody felt like this was where we really needed to be focusing our efforts and our attention in the near future anyway, more opportunities to work together on what comes next.
Yeah, thank you, Billy Lee. Reverend Sean says that we're connected and we do it together. We're not alone. This isn't a one-man show. This isn't everybody together, and everyone's thoughts are valid. Anyone else in the great room? I have excellent wait time. Hi, Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Hyland. Our small group in the back of the room, it was interesting because everybody had a different reason for having come to UUFNN to start. One reason, it was a partner to attend forum. Someone else another member had grown up in UU in other parts of the country. We moved from that, basically from question 1 to question 3, because we only had 10 minutes. And you heard Maya say it. There, I guess the theme, if there was one, was more gathering, both within UUFNN and greater connection, increased connection with our community. Continue to do more of what we've been doing in our community to serve our community for so many years. Do more reach out, do more contact, do more community service, and share what we have with the community.
Thanks, Chris. I think we hear a theme. More. Anyone else here with us? Okay, Mary, is there anyone on Zoom who has their hand raised and would like to talk with us?
Nobody has their hand raised.
Okay. So thank you so much for listening to Reverend Sean Neal-Barron today and thinking about why church. Thank you for your thoughts. If you come up with something else, anyone on Zoom, anyone here, that you really want me or the board to know, please email me at board@uufnn.org, and we are going to continue to move forward together. Thanks for your participation today. I appreciate all of you.
I invite us now to set our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits to our time of community prayer and meditation. You know, it's our connection that makes it possible to hold both the heavy and the light, the heartbreak and the uplift. Because church, we show up. I need to let you know that while Reverend Karen has been out with her family for the past several weeks to help them with their care, yesterday was not a great day. Her dad fell a few times, and this morning he was unresponsive. It is likely that he will transition today. So let's hold her in our hearts. On that lighter and more uplifting side, thank you, we have baby Fogel, who arrived last evening at 11:04. So that baby's light and love will be a blessing in our community. We seek the divine today to express our gratitude for our ever-evolving opportunities, that we might move forward together, writing our stories anew. We request healing, forgiveness, strength, whatever we need to be whole. Folks on Zoom, I invite you to record your blessings and burdens in the chat box. Your heartbreak, your baggage, your brokenness, your humanity, vulnerability, endings that we hold room for being beginnings. We hold them all together as one community. We ask the divine to help us remember we are one community, held together through ritual, music, stories, mission, connection, and our willingness to say yes. So we make our gesture to ourselves and each other, one hand on our heart, the other extended outward in a silent expression, saying, I see you, I hear you. We are here for each other. Amen. Thank you for joining us today in the DeBarger-Lee show. Help. Thank you for wearing masks today as the Washoe County is in the high range for COVID test positivity. The other day I was looking, it was about 40+ positivity rate. We haven't seen that since January of, I think, last year. Anyway, for continued programming, please watch your email. And those who are online, please stay online to join our informal social coffee hour. You'll see an invitation appear on your screen to join a breakout room with groups of 8 to 10 people. If during coffee hour you need some help, support, or questions answered, please press the help button in your breakout room. Thank you. Family, I invite us to keep finding the joy, the peace, the love, the connection. As Richard Bach said, how do you know if your mission is finished? If you're alive, it isn't. It's good to be fired up. Let's go out there with our fire. Amen.